My girlfriend has been really down ever since hearing that her former partner is tying the knot. So, I'm a 30-year-old guy, and I've been seeing my girlfriend, 32F, for roughly 4 months. Things between us were wonderful until she discovered that her ex, with whom she had spent 9 years, is now getting married. Their split happened back in June of last year, and our relationship began in July this year. We share so many interests and truly love spending time together. Last week, an old acquaintance of hers who stays in touch with the ex told her the news about his upcoming wedding to his current partner. My girlfriend was completely stunned. After the friend departed, she logged onto Facebook and scrolled through his page for nearly an hour. Fair enough. He was a long-term partner, so some curiosity makes sense. But from that moment onward, she's been noticeably unhappy, anxious, and keeps going back to Facebook to check every detail about him and his fiancée. When I gently asked whether he was the one that got away, she immediately said no. Her response was something like, "I'm just trying to figure out what makes her so different." She insists she's not longing for him, he treated her poorly, and even if he came crawling back, she'd never return. In fact, he contacted her several times post-breakup, and she rejected him each time. So, Reddit, here's my question. If the love is truly gone, why does his wedding hit her so hard? Why the constant focus on his soon-to-be wife? What am I not getting? Top relevant comments. Commenter 1. I suggest giving your girlfriend just a little breathing room to process this shock. From what you've said, it sounds like a sudden emotional jolt from a long-term ex moving on to marriage. Let her have a few days to express her frustration and feel upset. If she still can't move past it afterward, then perhaps it's time for a more serious talk. But if you can offer those few days, try saying something along these lines. Hey, I know this news is huge for you and you need time to work through whatever emotions are coming up. I'm right here if you want to share, but honestly, screw that guy. Let's put him behind us and go do something fun you enjoy. Ops downvoted reply. Is she still carrying feelings for him? Curiosity I get, but the sadness confuses me. Op replying to another commenter. Why are people getting upset with me? I'm simply trying to make sense of it. I can't read her thoughts and I don't want to push too hard, but this is starting to impact our relationship as well. That's the reason I posted here. Commenter 2, he kept her hanging for 9 full years and is now committing to a woman he met not long ago. That's likely the root of her pain. Why wasn't she worthy of that same level of commitment? What quality does this new woman have that she lacked? It isn't rational, but those thoughts are probably swirling in her head. Op's response, that could be spot on. I don't have all the finer points of their split, but she did mention the breakup stemmed from differing views on their future. She's also told me she wants marriage and children someday. Combining those details, it might align with what you're saying. Honestly, her ex comes across as pretty selfish. He earned 5 times her income, yet they split every single bill 50-50. On our very first date, I took her to a nice upscale place I'd been wanting to try. We had a wonderful evening, but the following day she phoned me, sounding apologetic, and explained she could only cover her portion gradually since she lacked the funds right then. It took me a second to realize she meant the dinner from the night before. I assured her it was my invitation, so my treat. She then shared that her ex always demanded she send him her half after every single outing, throughout their entire 9 years. It felt odd, but since it was so early in our dating, I didn't dig deeper. Commenter 3. A great deal of women's sense of self-worth gets wrapped up in marriage, regardless of whether they actually desire it or want it with that particular person. I've gone out with complete jerks I never wanted to wed, and I don't even want marriage myself, yet I still experienced something similar when they got hitched. It registers as personal rejection. My internal monologue was along the lines of, what flaw in me made even a loser like him unwilling to commit to marriage? Since your girlfriend does desire marriage, I suspect it's amplified. Society drills into us that our value peaks once we're wives and mothers. Even if we prioritize other aspects of ourselves, we internalize that much of the world only truly respects us after marriage. It requires time to refocus on our own priorities. Right now, she's mourning a future path she once envisioned with the person she invested 9 years in. That's normal. Gently remind her of your own goals, your vision for life, and how you're excited to explore whether you two could build that kind of future side by side. Update: 1 day later, I received tons of feedback on my previous post. Thank you all. The majority was genuinely supportive, with many sharing their own tough, relatable stories. Reading those opened my eyes, so extra gratitude to everyone who opened up about their experiences. Of course, there were the usual Reddit suggestions to dump her, and one person even labeled me a vegetable lol. Overall, posting helped me figure out the right way forward with her. After reflecting on the advice, I chose to have an open conversation. I picked up her favorite meal from her go-to restaurant, packed it, and headed to her place. When she opened the door, I said, "Look, I won't pretend to fully comprehend what this feels like for you. I can't, because it's deeply personal. I'd love to ease your burden or carry part of it, but I honor whatever you need to feel or decide. That said, as your partner, I do get to claim one thing. Please don't stay both sad and hungry. If sadness is what you need right now, at least let it happen with a full belly of your favorite food. That's my only request." She got teary-eyed hearing that. Then she replied, "I've been a pretty lousy girlfriend this past week, and I'm truly sorry. It's tough watching someone I gave 9 years to, who fed me excuse after excuse, now completely ignoring everything he once claimed." Picture a 9-year relationship where the two never shared a home, never vacationed together, never even discussed engagement or marriage. He would get annoyed if I messaged during work hours. That was exactly us. On top of it, he constantly called marriage an outdated concept he'd never take part in. He also judged relationships with big age differences harshly. Yet here he is, marrying a woman 8 years his junior, already cohabiting and taking trips together. That's what's been weighing on me. I don't want him back at all. I've moved way up in the world she meant me. But realizing I spent 9 irreplaceable years of my life on that hurts the most. I pulled her into a hug and said if she needed an ear to vent to or someone to roast her ex with, I could handle either or both. We ended up laughing together. As I was about to head out, she asked if she could crash at my place for a few days because being alone felt too heavy. I said of course. She's here now, setting up her work area in my spare room while I type this update. She'll be staying the full week. Thank you again, everyone. You've been incredibly helpful. Top relevant comments. Commenter A: "You handled this situation beautifully." Her confidence clearly took a serious blow. I went through something almost identical. When the relationship ends, and you're left believing you squandered years on someone who never truly cared, it makes you question your own lovability. One of the final messages I sent my ex before cutting contact was, "I'm not upset because I miss you. If you'd never been around, maybe I could have met someone who genuinely valued me instead of wasting time on a person who only kept me until someone better appeared. I'm upset because I wish you'd never entered my life." I suspect that's close to how your girlfriend feels right now. Your patience and support likely mean the world to her, even more than you realize. Commenter B: "There's a moment in When Harry Met Sally that didn't click for me at 19. But rewatching it at 35, right after my long-term boyfriend, who claimed he never wanted marriage, got engaged to someone he'd dated mere months, suddenly it did. I didn't want him back, but after all our years, why was marriage off the table with me yet suddenly fine with her? What about me made him reject the idea entirely when it was really just rejecting me? Why did I invest so much time in nothing? A decade later, I'm happily married to an amazing man who's truly my match. I wouldn't trade him for anyone. Still, stories like this or certain movie scenes bring back that quiet whisper, why wasn't I enough? Therapy made a huge difference for me. Commenter C: "She was probably grieving the painful answer to, why does he do all these things for her and never for me? And the brutal truth, that it's because you allowed it, is the hardest one to accept.